and EI. That's a pretty interesting way to go about it. Artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence. That's great. Knowledge and multitasking skills. Kindness, absolutely. So we know that for a fact that all of these skills will take a front seat, will take the driver's seat in the coming years. What's more important to realize is we need to understand why are skills important, and the ultimate focus should be on practical approach rather than the theoretical approach. So we look at skills from the employability aspects, right? We look at skills from the hiring aspects, and not only honing yourself, but honing yourself with respect to employability, with respect to getting employed. Now, if I talk about, say, if I talk about hiring before COVID happened, it was happening face to face. There were certain requirements that every company posts. There's a job description. For example, you're talking about content marketing or talking about digital marketing. The company says that these are certain requirements. You need to fulfill those requirements before getting started. Right now, in addition to all of those things, I think there are four soft skills that will definitely take the driver's seat in understanding how hiring will look like in the coming years, and why you need such skills in yourself to get employable, right? To stand out among your peers and to be employable. First thing is creativity. The first skill that is the most important is creativity right now, because everybody is working from home, and there is no personal touch or personal contact with the people you usually used to meet in offices. I think what's more important and what will stand out more in the coming years post COVID is creativity. If you have that creative knack, and if you have that that understanding that I can do something creatively, I can put ideas to the table, and I have the understanding to bring forward new points, fresh points, innovative points, and try and understand um, the entire psyche that okay, this is something that I want to do, but I can do this creatively. So I always give this example when I'm usually speaking in a lot of other speaking engagements, which is, if I talk about and I relate this with practical approach, as Wenzel introduced me, that I focus more on practicality and not on theoretical approach. So I'll give you an example. Say there's a recruitment going on. You are the employer. Put yourself in the employer's shoes. You are the employer. There are two kinds of employees in front of you. The first kind of employee has basic marks, has top marks. He's topped in all his school exams, topped in all his college exams. He's great with academics, but has zero practical knowledge. Zero. Okay. Second kind of employee has the basic kind of has the basics of the practical knowledge, and has mediocre marks. I'm not saying that he's got 30, 40 marks. He's got mediocre marks, 60, 70. Those are mediocre marks. But he also has the practical approach. He understands the basics of the practical curriculum. Which employee will you hire as an employer? The employee one or employee two? If you can tell me in the comments, that will be great. If you can tell me in the chat, that will be great. Everybody's written two till now. Okay, so it's a no-brainer. You're going to hire the second type of candidate. And why do you say that? Because ultimately, when you venture out in doing certain things, in doing the kind of work that you'll be doing after your college ends, or after your education ends, when you will foray your career into working, ultimately what the employer wants is skills, is the practical approach to things. If you've got the practical approach to things sorted in your head, then I don't think nobody can stop you from getting hired. Until unless the vacancy is gone, you should get that position for sure. And so I think the practical approach to things needs to be understood very well, because that's the most important skill, and the employers are looking for skills, right? And that's what we at Career Kida do. So as Wenzel introduced me, that I'm working on my venture called Career Kida. And so what we basically do is we provide practical training and skill development courses, and we also help students with recruitment. And one of the major things that I have understood with regard to recruitment is employers are always looking for smart people. There is a 6 month, 9 month, 12-month period with terms of training the employee. Whenever a new employee joins the company, there is a training period. There is the vocational period that's there. It could be 6 months, it could be 3 months, it could be 9 months, depending on the company. What we do as a company is, I'm not plugging my company here. I'm just giving you an example as to why practical knowledge and why practical skills and why having skill sets makes you more employable. So we basically give you the practical insights, we give you the practical knowledge, so that you as an employee stands out among the other competitors, among your peers. And as I already gave an example as to the kind of employee one and the kind of employee two, everybody will choose employee two. Why? Because you as an employer would not want to spend more time on training the employee. When you are getting a trained employee, when you're getting someone who is already a trained employee, who is already understands the basic of the practical curriculum, has creativity, has adaptability, has collaboration, every such things, I think you become more and more employable. And that's the crux of today's talk. Why do you need to build skill sets? First thing why you need to build skill sets is to stand out among your peers. Because say, for example, you are a chartered accountant or you are pursuing chartered accountancy. What is that one thing that differentiates you from the rest? Or maybe I'm a speaker. I've had you guys have had 140 other speakers as well. And for those of you who are watching on Zoom or you're watching YouTube live right now, or to anybody who will watch the video later, consider this one thing very clearly, which is what will make you stand out among your peers. Because if you are someone who's got the practical insights to things, do you think, will that stand out? Great, go ahead and do it. Right? So I think that's more important. You need to understand what skills you need to upskill yourself to enhance your own personality, and ultimately what will stand out with you. I am the 141st speaker in your series. There must be some distinguishing factor, I'm sure, that differentiates me from the others. I am a cricket aficionado. I am a cricket enthusiast. I'm a second division Bengal player. I understand all of that. But there must be something, there must be some personality trait that will attract one of the audience who's watching. So I think all those skill sets is very important.
Deepak, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Am I? Yeah,
Deepak, you're muted. Yeah, go ahead, Deepak.
Just give me a moment. Yeah. So I was saying that all of these skill sets are very important because there has to be some skill sets that differentiates you with others. What is that one skill or one personality trait that will differentiate you from others, right? The first skill was creativity, as I already mentioned. Second thing would be collaboration, right? Now I understand that you might want to work alone. You like your personal space. All of that is fine. All of that is taken care of. But now in this case, in this context, we're talking about getting employed, working in a team environment, right? It's not something that you're doing alone. It's not cooking that you're doing alone. For example, for bachelors who are staying alone in their houses, they're cooking alone. So they don't need they don't require 5 people at one go, or probably any other skill that needs to be done together, right? Collaboration is the new norm, and will be the new norm for, or rather, let me put it this way, is the future norm, is the norm for the future, and it will definitely be there, right? So what I mean to say is, the first thing is creativity. This is the most important skill employers are looking for, and employers will hire you if you can put forward creative ideas and innovative ideas on the table. Because say, for example, you're working in a startup. Okay? You put forward your resume to the HR, to the person who's taking the interview. At most times, the founder will take the interview because the HR and the PR and the marketing and finance, all of these terms are very fancy for a startup, right? You might give a cold call saying, I'm calling from the HR team, but you're the founder itself, and you know that. Okay? So I think all of these things so you're giving an interview. Imagine you're giving an interview at a startup. The founder asks you, what are some of the skills that differentiates you from others? You say that I have this degree, I have this, I can handle situations well. That's great. Everybody can do that, right? What is it that stands? What is that one thing that stands out in you, right? So I think first thing is creativity, and then if you can portray yourself as a creative person. If I give you an on-spot situation, if I tell you that okay, I want you to give me an idea as to how creatively we can run a campaign on social media. I want you to understand the consumer psyche that our startup is focusing on. What is the target group that our startup is focusing on, and what is the customer psyche that we ultimately intend to focus on. I want you to design an ad campaign. I want you to work on the video production side of things, so that the video is so compelling that I get my customer and I get my leads on social media itself. I don't need anything else. Will you be able to do that? So I think all of these skills, and if you can derive and come up with an idea at the table, you are definitely employable for sure. Take it from me, being a founder in the education sector, I understand the importance of skills. And if you can come up with some great skills and you can portray those skills at the interview, I'm up for it. I can hire you right now. Second thing, as I mentioned, is collaboration. You need to work in a team environment, even if it's 2 people or even if it's 20 people or 200 or 2000 or 2 lakh or whatever. You need to work in a collaborative manner. Now, what I mean by collaboration, it's very evident from the term itself. You need to work with teams. You cannot, as much as you want to work alone, as much as you like working alone, the corporate culture or the working culture will not allow you to work alone. And I don't mean work alone in the literal way as to sitting in your home and working alone, but working together. I mean working together in a team environment, right? Second, so first is creativity. Second is collaboration. Third, and the most important thing is persuasion. Persuasion, I think, is going to stand out for sure. And I can talk about persuasion with respect to influence and sales and selling skills, right? These skills, the third skill is going to be most important, which is persuasion. This skill will definitely stand out in the coming years for sure, because even if to the people who are watching, even if they're not businessmen, or even if, so I'm talking in a very general sense. I'm not talking as if only I'm addressing the entrepreneurs. I'm addressing a general. My approach will be very general, because I know that some of you might be running businesses, some of you might be working in a 9-to-5 job, some of you might be doing anything else. So I'm keeping my approach very generic. All of these skills will be generic and will be useful in any industry that you're in. So the third thing is persuasion. If, for example, you cannot persuade your higher management to take up this particular strategy, you think is absolutely bang on and will work 99% of the times, then what are you there for? I have had a lot of people in my company who have told me that, sir, this is something that can be done. This is something that cannot be done. And if he or she cannot persuade me or influence me in getting that strategy on board for our company, I am dead sure he will not be able to convince the customer. And I'm very sure with it. So I think with regard to skills, the first one is creativity, second one is collaboration, third one is persuasion, and the fourth one, as most of you already mentioned, which is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence will definitely play a huge role in the coming years and for years to come. AI and EI both will definitely be of utmost value in the coming years. And I feel that these skills will definitely take you to a notch higher as compared to your peers. coming to, so these are the four broad skills that will definitely help you upskill yourself and make you more and more employable. One that I've already mentioned is the practical approach. So you need to understand what industry you're going in, and you need to understand have some basic practical idea as to what industry you're entering. So for example, if you're entering this digital marketing industry, you need to have the basic understanding, the basic practical approach to digital marketing. You cannot be like, I'm entering in this industry and I have absolutely no clue about it. You're not getting hired that way. Absolutely not, right? And so with regard to all of these skills, I think these skills will stand out in the coming years for sure. I don't know if, and I'm sure that all of these skills were still there, prevalent, but every one of us need to work on these four skills broadly. And I'm sure when we open the forum to questions, we'll get a lot more questions, and I'm sure we'll get questions from the host, Wenzel, as well. So we'll take more and more questions there. But these are four general skills that will foster yourself. It will hone your personality, and second, it will make you more and more employable. And the third and the most important thing is, try and understand what will make you stand out. Try and understand how are you standing out among your peers, right? As I gave an example of a startup venture where you're taking an interview and all that. So I think that example, take that into consideration. Any kind of job, and with regard to the example that I also mentioned about two kinds of employees, employee one with highest marks but no practical insight, highest employee two, basics of the practical knowledge is clear to him, but and has the basic and has the mediocre marks. You would hire the second employee for sure, and only because he's got the practical approach to things right. He's got certain skill sets, and he has all the right. He basically checks on all the boxes, and I think all of these things will definitely matter in the long run and in the coming years. So we can open the forum to questions, and then we could go forward.
Thank you very much, Deepak, for your insights and those 4 points that I would also again want to reiterate. That is creativity, collaboration, persuasion, and my favorite word, EI, that is emotional. Now, I have a question from Sunita, which has been already put on the chat box. Where is a good place to get certification in digital marketing?
Okay. So to answer that question, I'll again take 2 minutes and trying and understanding the psyche behind this thought as to why do you want a certification in digital marketing. Number one, why do you want? Santosh says digital Deepak. I am not. I am digital and I am Deepak, but I am not digital Deepak. So I'll put it this way. But yeah, so as Sunita's question says that, where to get a good place to get a certification in digital marketing. I need to understand why do you want a certification in digital marketing, number one, and number two, what's the psyche in your mind with regards to digital marketing. A lot of times what happens is that you understand digital marketing as a course and you think that this place is offering digital marketing courses. Should I do it from here? The X place is offering at 20,000, Y place is offering at 40,000, Z place is offering at 80,000. Which place should I go? Or some online courses which are offering at $400 also. So should I take that up as well? I think there is no answer to this question. There is no one particular answer to this question. I have done my postgraduate diploma in digital marketing from Times of India, and I will share the personal experience off record. I will not go and share the experience right now on record, but probably I'll let Wenzel know and he'll let all of you know. But there's the answer to this question is there is no right answer whether what's a right place to get a certification from. Essentially, if you are very enthusiastic about digital marketing, you will learn it yourself. And how will you learn it yourself? You will learn it by trial and error. It's not a very difficult thing to do. I was speaking to Wenzel before this, and he said that he's a certified SEO, right? He's got a certification in SEO. So what I mean to say is he might have done it through a particular agency, he might not have done it through a particular agency. There is no hard and fast rule to it. When I did my PG diploma, I already knew social media marketing. I was already running ads on Instagram. I was already running ads on Facebook. I was already running ads on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on everywhere. I knew about the insights. I knew about how what Facebook marketing is. I knew about what Instagram marketing is. How to check if your ad is working or not. How to check if your leads are converting or not. Everything. I had a basic idea before I went on to do the particular course. So I think there is no right answer to that. There will be a lot of advertisements of agencies. You will see that we offer the cheapest. We offer the certification at the cheapest cost possible. Enroll with us to avail a 50% discount and all of that. Don't fall for all of those ads. Have a basic understanding of what digital marketing and what social media marketing, all of that is. It's not very difficult. Trust me, if I can do it sitting at the comfort of my home and experimenting, it's just trial and error. Let me put it straight. It's just trial and error, nothing else.
Well,
I hope that answers.
yeah, I absolutely agree with you. It's all about trial and error, and that's how even I have learned a lot of digital marketing certifications for the fact that I knew that it was tough when I started. Like I thought, oh my God, I couldn't do it. But then it was just like this, when you are keen to learn something, you can do some of the other. Okay, so the next question is, how can skills enhancement happen? For example, let's say that I'm an entrepreneur and
Okay.
there is a skill that is required. For example, video shoots. Now, a speaker may not know how to do video shoots and video editing. Do you think it is very much necessary to at least learn that skill?
Great point. I think what's more important here to realize is you are. So I'll take my example here. I'll take my example here because it's best to speak from experience rather than pointing shots blindly. So it's always a better option to speak from experience. So and I speak from experience. I'm a content creator and I'm an entrepreneur. When I started shooting videos, I had someone who was shooting my videos. I had someone who was editing my videos. I did not used to do it alone. I did not used to do it myself. Right. There came a point in time in my life where where the editor wasn't available, and I had to upload that video because initially I was very consistent, and I'm guilty of saying this, but I'm not consistent now. One video might come weekly, the other video might even come after 2 months. So I'm guilty for saying that, but and I know a lot of my audience must be watching this on Zoom or on YouTube or maybe watching later. But there's no trick. I think a creator goes through a creative block, and he will definitely come up with some great ideas if you give him the liberty of time. Okay, coming back, I think so. I had to upload a video as per my schedule, and I couldn't upload it because my editor wasn't available. Because my editor wasn't there at that point in time. My video was shot. I had my clips ready, but I couldn't upload it on time. Primary reason: A, the video editor wasn't available, and B, I didn't know editing. Right? Uh, in this lockdown has proved to be massive value addition to me because I have learned editing during this lockdown, and I can now edit videos. I don't mean to say because you're a content creator, you don't need to learn everything. I don't say that. You're a video creator. You don't need to learn editing. You're not learning video editing to become an editor. You're learning video editing as an additional skill set. Because at any point in time, if you are a video creator, if you are working independently, that's great. If the editor is not available, you can edit your videos yourself and you can upload it at any point in time you want to. Second, if you wish to apply for at a media company, probably as an editor or maybe as a researcher, I think one of the points I missed out on while I was mentioning 4 generic points is research. Research is going to be for sure one of the top skill sets uh, in the coming years because you understand the importance of how to research. If you type PUBG, if you type PUBG Chinese, you will not get the exact article you're searching for. You're not searching for the introduction of PUBG. कि PUBG कौन सा company है, PUBG कहाँ से आया and all of that. You're researching because you want to know something more. What do you want to know about PUBG? Do you want to know whether PUBG is a Chinese company? Type in the right keywords while researching for it. And I think, and I'm sure Wenzel will agree to this, as he's an SEO expert. All the search engines work on keywords. All the search engine works on keywords. You have to type the right keywords in order to search for a particular topic. So I think research is one thing that will definitely boom. And if you have great research skills, if you can research for a particular topic in 2 minutes, the other person is taking 20 minutes. I will take 2 minutes. The guy who can search in 2 minutes, right? So I think all of these skills will become more and more important. I will not tell you to learn video editing with the thought of becoming an editor in the future. No, I will tell you to learn editing just as a backup option, right? You have an editor, that's great, but you also realize that it's adding on to your cost, right? It's adding on to your cost. You have to pay a particular video editor a particular amount. If he's working on a monthly basis, you're paying him monthly. If he's working on a contractual basis, you're paying him contractually, right? So all of these factors play a major role in understanding the psyche. Take up these skills because it will enhance your personality and you become more and more employable. That's what I mean to say.
Thank you very much, Deepak, for that answer. The next question is from Vineet Saxena. How to develop EI skill set? And in fact, if you could give some tips on to develop each skill.
Okay, so I think there is the only hack to develop such skill sets is just to keep on trying. I think, and I'm not giving a cliche answer. I'm just giving you what actually works. You have to when I'm talking about creativity, you have to think outside the box. You have to take some time off from your daily routine and try and think. Go into that vacuum, close yourself in a room. This could work for this could work for somebody. This could not work for somebody. There is no generic route to understanding how creativity can enhance. How can you enhance creativity? There is no generic rule to that. I might be at my creative best when I close myself in a room and I'm just thinking. Suppose I'm thinking of a poetry video. Do you think I'll be able to think where in a place where it's a lot more crowded, a lot of people are speaking from here and there? Do you think that will foster creativity? There's always an environment that will foster creativity, right? And this is a great time to bring this up. My second TEDx talk was on this topic. Motivation is overvalued. What's more important is the environment around you. So if you've got the right environment around you, if you've got the right people around you, I think that will foster creativity. And your people, the amount of the type of music you listen to, and I'll just break down the word environment for you guys. The environment means the amount of the type of people you surround yourself with, the type of music you listen to, the type of content you consume on social media, the type of people you follow on social media, because everything plays or impacts or influences your mind. You might see a video on maybe a fighting video, and that might trigger your mind. That might influence you to think in that particular way. You don't want to think in that particular way, but it will influence you automatically. It is psychological. You have no control over it, right? So, but what's controllable to you and with you is you need to control your environment. Your environment is in total control of you. The type of people you interact with will have an influence on you. If they're always negative, if they say कि यार हो ही नहीं रहा है, मत कर, अरे ये करके क्या फायदा, ये तो बेकार बात है, ये तो मत करके कोई मतलब नहीं है, मत करो. I think those people are not required in your life. To be very honest, in the short term, you might think यार कि ठीक है, I'm taking some time to let go of such people, but in the longer run, you will understand that this is something that's a very important trait. You need to surround yourself with positive people, and as I think Ranira mentioned, you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. It's a famous quote by one of the greatest motivational speakers of all time, Jim Rohn. And he says, you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. And that's absolutely true. I spend my time with positive people all around. And I have my negative days and I have my low days for sure. You might think that I'm always positive and I'm always this pumped up guy. I'm the Ranveer Singh from India and I'm the Gary Vaynerchuk from US. No, I'm not. I have my low days as well. So what I mean to say is surround yourself with people. And to answer the question as to how everybody can hone their skills, I think it comes with practice. And the second thing is you need to choose your environment. The kind of content you follow, the kind of people you follow on social media plays an influence and creates an influence in your mind. And I think that is under your control.
Thank you very much for that amazing answer, Deepak. So the next question is coming from our realistic Ranira. What is the difference between originality and creativity?
What is the difference between originality and creativity? Wow, that's a heavy question to take. Um, I think originality. Originality is something that's not copied. Creative is you're doing something in a more different fashion. Creativity is doing things differently. Doing this, it could be you're doing the same thing but in different fashion. Say entrepreneurship, for example, right? Why do you think so? I'll answer this question by I'll give you a perfect analogy to answer this question. I think, Ranira, you will love this. What is the difference between entrepreneurship and a business? What is the difference between an entrepreneurship and a business? What does an entrepreneur do that a business doesn't? I'll answer that question. I'm not waiting for answers. That's just a pause that I take. Uh, so what I mean to say is a traditional business. It could be you're selling a piece of cloth, you're selling shoes, you're selling water bottles, you're selling earphones, you're selling chargers. These are some of the things that I see in front of myself. Bottle, I see earphones, I see the remote, right? So all of these things, if you're selling those things, that's a traditional business. But how you sell that business and how you sell that product, how creatively you sell that product and how you pitch your product to the customer is what will make you stand out. There can be hundreds of businesses selling the same thing, but I only buy from Amazon, for example. There is Amazon, there is Myntra, there's Flipkart, there's Jabong. There are n number of e-commerce sites, right? Why do I only buy from Amazon, right? There has to be something that they're doing, right? So I think the perfect analogy that stands out here is what is entrepreneurship and what is business. Business is any business that you're undertaking, that you're doing. But entrepreneurship is something that you're solving a problem and you're solving that problem creatively. Because there could be a lot of startups in one specific sector. Why will I become a customer of one particular startup? Because they are solving a problem, number one, and secondly, they're doing it creatively, and it saves my time and cost. So I think those points. I think that's the difference between originality and creativity. I hope I can answer your question.
Thank you, Deepak. The next question is, this is related to the fresh graduates who are coming
Okay.
out of school.
Right.
What skill set should a student look for coming years? Now, I know that you have said already those four, which is creativity, collaboration, persuasion, and EI and
Right.
research. But
Right.
not everyone would look in the way that right now you are looking at, probably any entrepreneur who's doing it. So, what skill should a student look for coming years?
Great question. Okay. I think this question I've been answering for quite some time now since I started my venture. So I think I'm very well adept to answering this question. With regard to fresh graduates who are coming in right now and some skill sets that need to be that they should know and improve themselves on: communication, communication, and communication. These are the three simple skills that you need to have in order to improve your personality. Take take any sector. Take the job sector, take the jobs market, take the startup market, take the creative zone, take anything, right? If you're unable to pitch yourself, if you're working in the startup sector, if you're unable to pitch yourself to the investor or to the customer, you're not getting that funding, you're not getting that first customer. Number one. Number two, if you are working in a business, or if you're working in sales, if you're not able to sell your product through effective communication, you're not able to do anything whatsoever with your business, and you're not doing justice with that role. So I think for fresh graduates, grab every opportunity that challenges your communication skills. Take part in every event possible. It could be a debate, it could be an MUN, which is a Model United Nations. It could be, it could be maybe, it could be any event. It could be a public speaking event. It could be any event. Just participate in all events, any event that challenges your communication, and you will understand that you will understand where you stand. Let me put it this way: you will understand where you stand. There are 100 people. You could be the 100th student. You could be in the 100th position. You could also be in the first position, right? But participating will enhance your skill set. Participating, as I already mentioned about creativity, all of those points, all of the 4 points or 5 points that I mentioned, gets picked in this course: creativity, collaboration, persuasion, emotional intelligence, and research. All of those points are checkmarked in this case. So participation is one thing that's more important.
Absolutely, I agree. For a fact, I can give you my own personal example. That
Sure.
I was, I knew what my work was, but I was not sure where to approach, whom to approach, because I was so scared. And that's when communication is the key factor for everything. And that's when it led me to come in front of the camera, to be a Toastmaster, and obviously my favorite power word, which is called networking. And
Yes.
this is how it
Love
helped
that.
me. And I'm glad that we are talking about the same topic today. Okay,
Absolutely.
going for the next question. I think Stephen would like to know, and I think I also had the same question.
Hmm.
How will the recruitment change in the future? We know for a fact that it is AI, but what more can we improvise or be very creative in terms of the recruitment sector?
Great. So yeah, great. So I think that's a great question. Who's asked the question?
Well, this is from Stephen Rodriguez. Stephen.
Stephen. Okay. Great question, Stephen. I think recruitment post COVID, or during COVID, let's say during COVID, I think one very important keyword to note here is we're moving towards a gig economy. Let me put it very clear. We are moving towards a gig economy. And what do we mean by a gig economy? A gig, as we all know that, for stand-ups, for stand-up comedy, you might heard comedians say, I'm just coming back from a gig, right? So gig, what does gig mean? Gig means a freelance work. Gig means you're working on a contractual basis. You're working on a project to project basis. Project ends, you're gone. Get the project, you're there. Absolutely. That's the entire gist of recruitment. And I think that will become more and more prominent in the coming years. And I think with regard to recruitment, it's going to be a mix of permanent and gig or contractual employees. It will not be, of course, you cannot have all the employees as contractual based employees. Otherwise, your project completes and the employee is gone. Who are you going to delegate your work to? You cannot do the entire work yourself, right? So it's going to be a mix of permanent and contractual employees for one primary reason, because this COVID-19 has been an eye opener um, for most of us. All the businesses and all the job sector have and the employees have understood the importance of having a job and having security, and and the businesses have understood that they need to be adaptable. They need to adapt to change. We see that a lot of industries have boomed. Talk about e-commerce, talk about hospital sector, talk about edtech, right? These industries have boomed. A lot of industries have not boomed. talking about the hospitality sector, talk about the hotel industry, talk about the restaurant industry, talk about the travel tourism industry. They have not boomed because nobody will travel now, or rather for this time period, right? So all of these, I think, with regard to recruitment, what's going to happen is we're moving towards a gig economy. There will be a mix of permanent and contractual employees. Second thing, there will be flexibility in work schedule for sure. I think I saw one question with regard to work from home as well. So what's the future of workforce like? I think there was one question like that as well.
Same, yeah,
So I
same
think
question from Stephen, actually. It's the same question.
okay, same question. Great. So I think there will be flexibility in work schedule as well. You will not have to submit deadline, submit your project on, say for example, your boss has told you to submit a deadline and he's coming and checking on you whether अरे काम किया कि नहीं देख के बता, अरे ये देख के बता किया कि नहीं. You're sitting in the comfort of your home. There's a deadline. You complete the project, email it to your company. That's it. So I think there will be flexibility in work schedule for sure. And with regard to hiring, as I mentioned, skills will become more and more important for sure, because we now understand the importance of building skill sets, right? We now understand how important is having additional skill set in your portfolio, in your CV, in your resume, right? What's more important is to understand कि यार मेरे पास क्या different है जो बाकी लोग के पास नहीं है, and that makes you employable. Hiring in times of COVID and post COVID rather will be something like there will be virtual interviews for sure. Interviews cannot happen face to face, at least for the time being, at least during COVID. And I'm sure this will become the future once all the companies, and I'm sure already companies have started adapting or adopting to the virtual interviews. So I think they will definitely, Santosh, this is a robot interview, AI. That's a great way to put across. So I think what's more important is with regard to hiring and with regard to recruitment during COVID and post COVID is one, you need to understand that you've got the right skill sets. You stand out among your peers. So communication. Number two, learn basic skills like graphic designing, video editing, MS Office. That's the most important skill. I'll actually share one very small story here. I'll just take 2 minutes in trying explaining that. So what happened is we were actually when we started Career Kida, we were holding this recruitment drive, and we were inviting CVs from students, and we had this placement drive and all of that. So we had all of that. You will not imagine. So the people who are watching this on YouTube or on Zoom or whatever, or to those people who will watch it later as well, you will not imagine that we received CVs where we had smileys written in front of the name. There is no alignment. Half the CV, there's one sheet of the CV, upper half is in left alignment, the bottom half is in right alignment. Do you think, as an employer, what kind of an impression do you set on the employer? People say first impressions don't count. I don't think so. It might not count in relationships, but it does count while you're appearing for an interview, right? So I think all of those skills stand out. MS Word is the most important skill. MS PowerPoint, MS Excel. I think all of these skills are very important. Even if you know the basics in itself is a lot. So even if you know the basics, you're sorted. You're good to go. So I think with recruitment, to answer and to finally sum it up, to answer Stephen's question, it's going to be a mix of permanent and contractual employees. Number two, there will be flexibility in work schedule for sure. Hiring will be virtual, all the interviews and everything. So all the orientation and all the training will be online. It will be virtual till the time this settles in. And last but not the least, you will only be hired if you've got certain skill sets. Broadly in the spectrum of 5 skills that I discussed, but also on, if I dig deep, then there is communication for sure. And apart from that, there comes, practical approach to things and, emotional intelligence and, working with the team members, collaboration and all of that. So I think all of those things come in place. MS Word, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint, these skills are basics and you should know this. Graphic designing. I'm not a graphic designer by profession, but I know how to design certain graphics. I know how to design certain posters, certain YouTube thumbnails, or I have always designed my YouTube thumbnails, right? And do you think how do you think it happens, right? It happens. See,
Just because you want to learn.
I'm forgetting the quote. The quote is desperation helps you being creative, or what was that? I'm forgetting the name. Like, you're at your creative best when you're desperate. Like, I'm not getting that quote properly, but whatever. So when you're desperate, you have to innovate and you have to invent, right? Desperate times, desperate measures. I think I think that answers Stephen's question. Santosh
Okay.
says, what's Deepak's social media handles? I will link it.
Yeah, I'll share it right now in some time. While I do that
Okay.
now, I think
Yeah.
we have completed with all the questions right now. And before we
Super.
move for the vote of thanks, I would like you to please give your feedback on the show, Empowerment Talks, as how you liked it and how interactive it was, so that we can take the feedback and see if there are any areas of improvement.
Okay, so I'll just put in my Twitter handles and all of the social media handles in the chat. For anybody of you who would like to check out my content, please do that. Okay, so with regard to can we? Okay, I thought there was a question by Meenakshi. Okay. Okay, so with regard to, I think the feedback, it's been a great session. Firstly, thank you, Wenzel, and thank you to all of you who joined in and made this a lot more interactive. And thank you to Bhavini who was coordinating with me for throughout the entire time. So thank you so much to Bhavini, and thank you, Wenzel, and thank you to the entire team of Empowerment Talks, Yash, Faisal, and everybody else who's doing a fantastic job with regard to holding these sessions on a daily basis. I know it can get tiresome. I know it can get difficult after a point in time. But the toughest. It's the time of the toughest, survival of the fittest. If you are fit enough, you will survive. If not, you're gonna perish. So I think it's the survival of the fittest, and absolutely, I think you guys are doing a fantastic job with regard to holding these sessions on a daily basis and talking about different topics daily. So kudos to the entire team of Empowerment Talks. Thank you, Wenzel. Thank you, Bhavani. Thank you, Yash. Thank you, Faisal. These are some of the names that I can remember on top of my mind. But yes, I don't think there's anything else you can improve on. You're doing a fantastic job anyway. If there's any point that I can come across later, I will definitely let you guys know.
Well, thank you very much, Deepak, for your amazing feedback and insights. And I must say, the moment I heard this word called career Kida, I did hear this like a couple of years back, but I did not knew that it was you. But I'm really
Oh, awesome.
happy and glad. And
I'm glad our marketing worked.
yeah. And one thing I do agree with you, and I think definitely the ET team, and especially I would say Renira and Santosh, they have been pushing me as such, because as I told you, it was all about learning, adapting the new
Right.
change. And I think I'm really happy with that right now, and I'm still learning, and definitely I will also connect with you to know more about all this digital marketing, content writing, and I'm sure that you are helping with all your creativity, being very practical, because that's all right now what people are looking at, rather than being
Right.
theoretical. Okay, so let me ask Kunain to please take over the vote of thanks. And Kunain, over to you.
Thank you so much, Deepak. It was definitely a great session, very insightful, and you touched upon very profound, important aspects. And I'm sure all our attendees must have learned a lot, and they are going to get benefited from your talk. So thank you very much. And on behalf of Empowerment Talks, please accept digital bouquet as a token of appreciation, a token of love from all of us. So this is what we can offer you right now. So please do accept. And thank you for coming on this platform. And thanks for sharing your wisdoms. I must say that these were golden nuggets, which are going to be useful for all of us. So thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you might have enjoyed this conversation. So please give a huge round of applause to Mr. Deepak Parikh for all his insights going to be useful for all of us. We have on 11th of September, very important session, Friday at 3 p.m. UAE time and 4:30 India time. We are going to have Ravi Kumar. He's an expert in a stock. He's going to talk important for all of us. You will be learning in this masterclass your trading, how you can have the 5 golden rules of a stock trading and other analysis pattern, and ultimately how to make huge money as a disciplined trader. So make it sure that you attend this session and register yourself and enjoy your presence with Ravi Kumar. I will share the link in the chat box. You can use that. And just to let you know, Deepak Parikh, you must be knowing that under the umbrella of Empowerment Talks, we do have 5 a.m. Club, which around 200 plus selfless souls, we gather together digitally within Zoom room and practice many aspects to make a difference in our lives. Also, we do have Mastermind Club and ebook show with the purpose of making a difference in our life and making a difference in the lives of others nearby surrounding us. And then we have the collaboration with Samir GP, life coach, and Dr. Smita Prabhakar, another lady known as Dr. Happiness, and she runs a program, Get the Body You Deserve. And we have a collaboration with Dubai's Jobs Hunt as well. We help each other to get the jobs and other issues sorted out. And here is the team behind the success of Empowerment Talks. We are changing together lives. You can also change their lives through your contribution, through your strengths, whatsoever do you have. As you can see on the screen, Tulika, Santosh, Bhavani, Anita, Jayashri, Asil, Chandani, Harun, Renira, Alexander, Kishore, and myself. We are all working under Faisal and Yash and trying to make a difference. So you can connect with us with Empowerment Talks. We are social and we are available in all these social and talks, which is.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me over. It has been an absolute pleasure. Just one concluding thought. If you guys want to connect with me on my social media platforms, the links I've already shared in the chat, so you can connect with me there, and I'll be open to giving helping you guys with anything that you guys want. It could be if there's any advice, you can directly DM me on my Instagram. I'll definitely try and speak to you there. But thank you so much to the entire team of Empowerment Talks for having me over.